This conference will now be recorded.
Would you please repeat again?
Asymmetrical accommodation in hyperopic and isometropic amblyopia.
Okay. So asymmetrical accommodation in isometropic and
Hyperopic and isometropic amblyopia.
amblyopia. Okay. So this is one topic. This is very nice topic. And the next topic, if anybody want to share. I could not hear Neeraj.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. That's right. So I just give the overview of today's learning outcome. Basically, the objective of today's session is to provide basic guide to the searching optometry and ophthalmology literature, and to demonstrate how to construct an effective search strategy. This is what the main objective of today's session is. So I just first of all like to ask questions. If you come up with these like sort of the topic or ideas, how do you do the search? So anybody can speak what you used to do. There is nothing wrong and right about that. Today's sessions, objective of today's sessions is trying to make this an efficient in sourcing literatures. So there is nothing wrong and right about that. Different people have different opinions and ideas and their own way of tackling the issues. So anybody, if can give some sort of overview how they do the literature search, I think that would be interesting to know. And please turn mic on and speak up. So don't be shy. So there is nothing wrong and right about that.
Well,
Yeah.
Gauri sir, last this was I was a part of your class even that in the last session also, and like generally
Oh,
it is the keywords that would help us with the search of literature.
okay. Yeah, that's right. So keywords are the main fundamental part of the literature search. So we will look at how we pick up the main keywords in the literature search. So like if you do the literature search, just type in Google. Like I will just show you the topic. Just I'm going shifting to the Google now. So I just open the Google and I type that research question, and I saw metropic. Uh, sorry, asymmetric, symmetric, asymmetric uh, hyperopia in anisometropic and hypermetropic amblyopia. Anisometropic and please correct me if it is wrong. Hypermetropic. So this is normally what we do in Google. Now I just click the button now. Can you see this window? Yeah, it's okay. So if you see over here, when I type asymmetric,
Excuse me, sir. It is asymmetric accommodation. As I
Yes, sir. That's accommodation, sir.
asymmetric accommodation. Sorry, as this showing spelling mistake. Asymmetric. That's all right. It doesn't matter. Asymmetric accommodation in anisometropic and hypermetropic amblyopia. I think this is right, correct, right? So I just click this. Normally, what we do, Now, when we use this term, this whole entire term in the source building, you can see over here, this give you something around 17,500 sorts. So you could found 17,500 sorts now when you type that topic. So this is actually practically unachievable to find out which article is most relevant to your query. So I hope you understand now why we are talking about doing effective literature search. So we normally, when we type, we found 17,500 articles, which is practically not achievable to go through each of the articles. And there might, why this showing this much of article also, we will talk about this also later. And I'm again now going shifting to the main topic. So today's topic is about doing literature search and not about doing literature review, because literature review need a separate sessions, and it is a very thorough, and it requires not even an hour of sessions. It takes a lot of time to do the literature review. So today's session is about doing literature search only. Basically, literature search requires a bit of prior planning and strategy to be done successfully. As we talk about the keywords, one of the strategy we used. So this requires skill to separate relevant information from the irrelevant one. Like we found 17,500 articles in the Google Chrome search. So we need to separate them, which are relevant and which are not relevant to us. That is the main thing. And we just want to select the articles which are relevant to us. We cannot go through each of the articles to find out the article which is most relevant to us, because there are vast amount of information available in medical literature, and these databases, PubMed, Embase, like these databases are often confusing. So literature search is not a random database search. Now let's come to the main topic of these today's sessions, creating search strategy. Now I would like you to have maybe you just open your window, or maybe you start writing on a paper. From this point we build up our search strategy, and we do the search, and how we come up with the final list. We will look at this. So first point is define the search query. So in this query extensions, I've mentioned extension, phrase your search query into a clear, focused questions. As like one is article we have talked about, asymmetric. Sorry, I again forget. Asymmetric accommodation in uh, hypermetropic and anisometropic amblyopia. This is the topic. I put here an example: contact lens wear increases the risk of microbial keratitis. This is the topic I put over here for an example. So the students who have already have a research topic or questions, they just write down this first. I just wait for a while, because I do not have any presentation today, just because we are working together. That's why I ask about sharing the research topics. Vision related quality of life in keratoconus. Okay, that's right. Okay, so vision related quality of life in keratoconus. We are talking about phrase your search query into a clear, focused questions. And Bipin Korela has just typed vision related quality of life in keratoconus. That's right. Okay, this is the first step. If anybody has topic, please type, or either type or you can speak up. Now, can I go to step 2? Anybody from the audience can speak up. If yes, then you can say yes. Uh, Step 2, identify and expand concept. This is the step 2. So in this part, what we do is we break that concept down into our component parts. So component parts and list possible synonyms, alternative meanings, different spellings, and related words and phrases. So, like first of all, start with this example. Contact lens wear increases the risk of microbial keratitis. So I just put first contact lens now. Same way you can put vision-related quality of life and the uh, asymmetric accommodation. So asymmetric means asymmetric accommodations. So like you can put accommodation at the moment. You can put for the asymmetric also you can put asymmetric accommodations as a compound word. Like for accommodation, what the alternative name that would be? Asymmetric could be a different accommodation. Is that correct? So you just need to think that I put contact lens. I just elaborate contact lens as a soft contact lens, hard contact lens, rigid contact lens, silicone hydrogel, daily wear, extended wear. Maybe you can add something like this. And then for the where I use, some people use instead of where they itself use the word use. You can find this over here. So over here, I just highlighted over here. Then I pick risk. So risk as adverse effect. Risk as an adverse effect. Uh, Same way you need to put that kind of alternative words. MK, microbial keratitis, so corneal infections or infiltrates. This is the second part. Now, uh, is it okay to use acronyms or full words? In the search build up, you can use acronyms as well. So acronyms means what sort of acronyms you mean here? So we normally we later on talk about subject headings. We'll talk about subject headings after that. Then only we start sourcing this. Comparison of high order aberrations in pediatric population with different refractive errors. This is what Asta Subedi has uh, written down over here. So comparison, so you can read comparison means you can build up this word, expand this word. So what comparison, like comparison, alternative words if you have anything like that. High order aberrations. So you can elaborate aberrations as maybe distortions, maybe spherical aberrations itself, oblique astigmatism, maybe coma. This way you can elaborate. Pediatric population. So pediatric means you can say children, child, maybe infants, toddlers, school age children. You need to specify this. We later on this is just we are expanding at this point. Different refractive errors. So different refractive errors, you can say myopia, hypermetropia, astigmatism. This is pretty much clear. Now I just go back again. Just go back. I just missed one topic. I just found Paudel, who has mentioned about visual functions and quantification of metamorphopsia in BRVO before and after intravitreal injection. this topic is itself too long. Now, visual functions. We're just breaking component visual functions. So visual functions means visual functions. Vision, only you can write vision. Uh, any alternative words if you have come up with quantifications. Quantification means measurement. I think you can put measurement, assessment, metamorphosia. Metamorphosia you can elaborate. Maybe visual distortions. So we will look at the subject headings, what actually that means. We don't need to be panic over here. I will show you how do we find subject headings for that particular word, how the search engine take up this word also. VRVO, branch retinal vein occlusion. So this could be came up in the retinal vascular stuff. Branch retinal vein occlusion, you can say that sectoral vasculitis, retinal hemorrhage, something like that. So we just keep this, expand this at the moment. And before and after intravitreal injections. Intravitreal injections. I think it is quite clear. No need to elaborate. Sometimes we may not find a word, elaborative words. That is also fine. Now Asta Subedi, I think Janisha Bhatrai, she said assessment of the corneal thickness and the subfoveal choroidal thickness in patients with keratoconus. So assessment itself can be elaborated. You can put alternative words. You just keep on at the you think and just keep on adding the alternative words like for each of that key words. Corneal thickness. Corneal thickness. What could be the other alternative word for this? Is that it come up with the corneal rigidity? We just think this is just and what I'm came up in my mind at the moment. Subfoveal choroidal thickness. Subfoveal. Subfoveal means underneath the fovea. So subfoveal, is this different from intrafoveal or macular? Something like that. Fovea, macula, because they are quite interrelated. Uh, subfoveal. So subfoveal choroidal thickness. I feel this word is a bit vague. Um, because the choroid and fovea, they are a different part of the anatomic location. So either this could be subfoveal or maybe subchoroidal, I don't know. Just think about that. In patients with keratoconus. So keratoconus, if there is an alternative name for the keratoconus, it might be worthwhile to think and write down. Anand Shah, I'm coming to the going to the Anand Shah. Retinal vascular and anatomical features in the spontaneous hypertensive retinopathy. Retinal vasculature, vascular. So retinal vein, you can add retinal vein, retinal artery. These are the some uh, alternative words, may not be precise, it doesn't matter. So even if you put vascular, it gives all the term which is related to the vein. So which is related to the vascular system. Anatomical features. So anatomical features and anatomical features in the what sort of anatomical features you are mentioning, you just try to clarify it. Just elaborate these anatomical features. So anatomical features means morphological features. Can you write morphological features? Because anatomy, wait, later on, I just remind me, Anand, about anatomical features. When I just try to show you when I do the search, when I type anatomical feature, how expanded that would be. I will show you later because this is a general term we find. And spontaneously hypertensive retinopathy. Spontaneously hypersensitive retina. Spontaneously means it's a temporary, temporaneous, or subsequent. Something you need to clarify this with two more words. And hypertensive retinopathy. So you can say hypertensive retinopathy, hypertensive, high blood pressure, uh, retinopathy. You can put maybe retinitis at the moment, maybe vasculitis, choroiditis, whatever is there. Just keep think about that because when you search retinopathy, it's again I will show you. This is very could be a very vague word. Prevalence of microtropia in amblyopia suspected patients. So prevalence, you can just keep prevalence. Prevalence maybe not similar, but you can put incidence as well as alternative word. Microtropia means, I think there are alternative term for the microtropia. Microtropia, I could not exactly remember, but there are few terms for the microtropia. So you can put amblyopia, different term for amblyopia as well. A suspected patient, that's all right. That doesn't need, in fact, so much of things. Ocular anatomy. Ocular anatomy. Ocular is also great. Okay, we will look at this as well later on. Ocular and anatomy as well. So now can I move to the step 3? Set the scope of the query. Step 3 is the set the scope of the query. Okay, that's good. Monofixation syndrome. Monofixation, maybe single fixation, single point fixation, something like that. Still, you can expand syndrome. Syndrome, you can expand syndrome as well. So we just put monofixation syndrome. That's all right. Comparison of biometry and refraction before and after NDIA capsulotomy. Comparison of biometry and refraction. Okay, comparison of biometry. Comparison, you can expand this. Biometry, you can say lens power measurement. Just lens power. I think that will be enough. Refractions. I think this can also be expanded. You think about and just try to expand what should be the alternative words before and after NDIA capsulotomy. NDIA capsulotomy. So you maybe just laser capsulotomy, just maybe that alternative term. Okay. So third step is set the scope of the query. Choose selection criteria. So that means first in my topic, I said contact lens wear increases the risk of microbial keratitis. And when I break into its components, I just found this quite contact lens wear is a very general term. I want to see that specify that which type of contact lens wear I'm interested in. So I just put contact lens instead of just contact lens. I want to see my query in silicone hydrogel lens and extended wear lens. I just narrow down now. Now from the possible that expanded term, you narrow down which group you want to see. Like there is I saw one word, I just remember pediatric population. So which age group or you want to see? Maybe instead of pediatric, you might be able, you can say school age children or the maybe toddler, preschoolers. So something like that. You can then narrow down in which group you want to see. So later on, when we do the sorts, we can refine them again. It doesn't mean that you cannot refine. And the MK, instead of MK, what I did put is corneal infections and infiltrates. I still stick to this criteria, not only MK. I'm interested to know that problem, the microbial keratitis, contact lens, and microbial keratitis in relation with corneal infections and infiltrations. Set limits on the extent of your source. This is this part, and can you see the mouse? See limitations on the extent of your search. Example, date of publications, language, geographical location of the study. So this you can add, but if you are studying the rare conditions, like maybe isomicrotropia, prevalence of microtropia in amblyopia. Amblyopia itself is a very limited, its prevalence is very low. So I guess the microtropia might have a very low prevalence. So in that case, you may not need to limit the search criteria, but sometimes something which is very common might need uh, uh, set the limit so that the search criteria search is up to date. So in this case, I just for the example I want to interested to see paper 2010 and the publication is based in Australia. So you can set this kind of criteria. I just wait for a while and you can type what you set the criteria and we will further discuss and before we move into that. So you have put the topic. Now let's put your set of scope of the query. I just wait for a while again. You can, if anybody interested, you can speak up as well because this is a little bit problem with this virtual meeting. Okay, the last part is refine strategy. So we can refine later on when we do the search. This is at this. So this is the framework of our today's sessions. And now I just quickly go into the what are the database available for the search, and then I will show you how we use them. So the first is the now just a quick overview, subject headings. That's what I'm talking about. So when the paper are registered in the database, they use a specific subject headings to construct the vocabulary of the database, which is a typical for the search engine. And this actually helps to find articles relating to the topic, regardless of spelling, variations, or synonymous being used. So whatever you put the word, it won't affect because it take the words, the alternative words which takes those all meanings. That's why the search is too much elaborative. And here I just mentioned about mesh term PubMed, which we will look at this as well, and sub headings and category as well. Now, when we do the search, because we have now selected the few words, keywords from that topic. Now, how we need to combine them, we will look into that. So this is called Boolean operators. We can use and or not to incorporate these keywords into the search. And when we use and, it actually narrow down our search. Like headache and asthenopia. When we type in the search engine, uh, finds article which has got both terms headache and asthenopia. So that means it's narrowed down. If you look here, you can see the green circle over there. These are common to both of the terms only they are picked out. And when you use or, this actually expands source by returning any of the source term. Meaning by, if you type headache or asthenopia, it finds articles which might contain headache or asthenopia. So that means it expands. And when you use not, it restricts the source by eliminating a source term for the results. So if you are interested in just headache, not asthenopia, then you can say headache, not asthenopia. So that means it will pick up only the term which has got headache. If the article has got headache and asthenopia, it is dropped in the search. So these are three Boolean operators we use in the search while we do the search building. Normally search engine itself use, we just need to select them. Now we're just coming quick to database. The Medline is the most common database, and we will use Medline database for today's sessions. Medline database, which is commonly you can find it is freely available in PubMed. Next is PubMed itself. It's a free access tool, and it's also freely accessed in Medline. So you can use PubMed to do the Medline search as well. Medline search. To do this Medline search, you can use PubMed. So PubMed serves both of them. PubMed. So it's a very big database. You can have 22 million articles plus non-medical life science articles. And Embase is another database, but it's not freely available. So today we do not go in look into this topic. It's not freely available. I can access because of my institutional stuff, but normally we cannot access. So we do not go into using this. Today we do not use. We use PubMed and Medline. And one last but not the least, Google Scholar is quite also famous while doing the search. It is easy, user-friendly stuff. So it's research. It researches articles, abstract books, and academic sources. So this is all about. Now I'm going to the window again, back again. Now let's look into our. First of all, let's type Google Scholar. Let's type Google Scholar. You also type Google Scholar, and let's look into Google Scholar quickly. The topic which I use for the example here, I just quickly type this topic first. Contact lens. You can also type your search and you can see the difference. This is normally what we do in the search. So it has found 9,090 articles. This one, 9,090 articles. So I will type any of the topic from the list. Um, I think Bipin has got very short title, so it would be quite easy to search. I will use a little bit um, visual functions and quantifications of metamorphosia in. Okay, I will select this topic at this moment. I'm just typing straight away this topic. So I'm straight away typing this word, this sentence. Now this has resulted me uh, around 100 results in Google Scholar. This is quite achievable. That means it is quite achievable. So it only showing 100 search results only. Now I'm just, if you look at the highlighted words, there is a pathological feature. So even if we type visual function quantification of metamorphosia, it pick up pathological features, quantification of the changes in metamorphosia, and visual functions following intravitreal others. So that means I'm just going back after intravitreal injections. So intravitreal injection means that's what we said. Intravitreal injections. What is the use? Here it mentioned about this medicine being used intravitreally. I've just highlighted now. I think you must be able to see this. I think this need a specific. So I just quickly break down visual functions. I put visual functions uh, because there are two terms we are using. So I put this into bracket and quantification of metamorphosia. Quantification of metamorphosia. So I want visual functions and quantification metamorphosia both together. Can you see? Can you see what I typed over here? Visual functions. It doesn't matter about the capitalization, anything. Visual functions and quantification of metamorphosia. I think we need to put n again because we want branch vein occlusion as well. Then uh, just a minute. I just want to get clarification from Podel. So he said that intravitreal, Podel means he or she, I don't know, is a surname only. So intravitreal, sorry,
Sir, I'm Anita.
okay. So intravitreal injection means you can specify this, what sort of medicine being used in this case, because it has found Vevemacizumab when we use this intravitreal injections. Or we want any of the medicine, irrespective of this, we just want intravitreal injection only. So before, after, and BRVO, I just put or in this case. Maybe I put treatment also, and BRVO. Uh, this is a bit lengthy word, and BRVO. Uh, I just put treatment, intravitreal treatment. I just put treatment. So, okay, I'm ready to go now. I just click enter. Now, when I put visual functions, can you see the visual functions? Uh, Visual functions and quantification of metamorphosia and VRVO. Still, we can keep this also in closing bracket as well. I did not do this before search or intravitreal treatment. Or let me do this injection again. Intravitreal injections. Again, enter. When I put intravitreal injection, because the intravitreal injection, that has resulted me 27 articles been searched. 27 articles been searched. So when I use intravitreal treatment, it was just 10. Now I think 27 article is achievable in this case. So you can just quickly, now you can quickly see in each search, you can quickly see highlighted words if this match with your search. Visual function is there in first article. Visual function, VRVO, quantification metamorphosis. So that may not be a absolutely perfect search. So you can see here, second one is a little bit comparatively better. Sorry, second one. I'm just going back again. Second one, it shows visual functions. It shows visual functions questionnaire. May not be relevant to you. I will take one more. This is okay. This is at this point okay. I just pick up now. Janisa, I'm just picking up our topic, and I put in the search for in Google Scholar. I do not want to spend much time in this. This is actually not so much convenient. Um, okay, I just put that topic. That gave me something like 688 search. So this is regarding Janisa's topic. I entirely typed the topic one alone. It gave me 688 search, which is not achievable. This is too much. So now we just want to break down into keywords. We just want cornell things. I'm taking out assessment as well. So I just expand this. Now corneal thickness. Corneal thickness. Uh, Janisa, can you speak up now? I'm not sure you want corneal thickness as well as subfoveal choroidal thickness, or either of the thumb you want in search. You can unmute yourself and talk. Hello, Janisa. Okay, anyway, I just put this and just I want both of the terms to be in my search. So I just put and then subfoveal thickness. I'm removing choroid at this time. And I do not want this word. I'm just taking this out. Inpatient with, I'm taking this out. Uh, I just put N. I'm narrow down the search. Keratoconus. I don't need to put hyphen in this. So now I did search. This resulted me no answer. So when I put this term, corneal thickness and subfoveal thickness, that resulted me no output. You can see there is no. So I instead and between corneal thickness and subfoveal thickness, I use this or. So that one, either I want corneal thickness or subfoveal thickness in keratoconus. I hope this is clear. Now again, I enter. When I put or, it gave me even more articles, 13,800. You can see this gave me even more search, 13,800 when I use or. But when I use and, this gave me no result. So that means the term we use are not technically sound. So that means we need to specify this term. This is not technically perfect, this term. So instead of subfoveal, now I just try to use choroidal thickness. What happened? This gave me 172 articles when I use choroidal. Okay, let me put subfoveal choroidal thickness. This gave me just two results. Just gave me two results. When I use both subfoveal choroidal thickness, it gave me just two results. I'm not sure if this is relevant to you. So you can just better you just look into the abstract. There are two articles popped up. Okay, this is all about Google Scholar. Google Scholar, one more thing I just want to say because I'm spending too much time in this. And in Google Scholar, if you look at the top left corner, you can see these three horizontal lines. This one, this tool, you can see this tool over here. So you can click on that. You can click on that. You click on that, then go to setting. You can go to setting. You can go to setting. Then you can. This is the how you limit this. So when you go to setting, you can find the list of the options. What you want to do. You can select by language. You can select by language. It's okay, mostly English. So apart from that, if we go back again, let me check this. I'm going back again. Again, I'm clicking on this arrow. This one. Click over here. This one. It gave me. Now I go to advanced search. You can see advanced search over here. You click on advanced search. Then you can select the words how you want to give the command for search with all of the words. You want all of the words in the search, or you want exact phrase. So you can select over here what phrase. So this is just giving up the option. So you can change this term wherever it is applied. Wherever it is applicable, you can use this. So this is one way we do. You can apply this. Now the main topic is the PubMed search today's. So we are going into PubMed now. Before going to PubMed, if anybody has any questions, please just comment. Or randomly anybody can speak. Or you can type in over here. I will just wait for a few minutes. Then we go to okay. Manoj Mahat, I found one article again. One study topic: visual evoked potential parameters in hypothyroid patients and its correlations with thyroid hormones. Sounds interesting. I will also look at this comment on this as well. Uh, Give me a couple of minutes. Hello. So best source Indian for literature. So as long as we know, PubMed is the one which is freely available and the most convenient one. So we will go into the PubMed. Uh, Visual evok potentials parameters in hypothyroid patients. So you can put visual evok potential VEP straight away VEP. You do not need to put parameters. VEP is a one source term. Hypothyroidism may be the other term. Hypothyroidism may be another source term. And thyroid hormones. So there are only three terms. Even if this topic looks very lengthy, just three terms will define the source criteria in this case. Now let's type PubMed. PubMed. We are going straight into PubMed now. Let's go to PubMed home. This is the home PubMed NCBI. Let's type in your computer. Let's type PubMed. Now I'm in the PubMed page. Just a minute. It took me to the wrong place, I think. Uh, Not this one I'm looking for. Uh, this is correct, in fact. This is correct, but it is showing different. Let me check. I will just expand this a little bit further. There is a problem. I don't know. This is. Can you just a minute? Can you see this mesh term? Mesh. Uh, Now I'm just picking of randomly. I'm picking Garima's topic. Comparison of biometry and refraction before and after NDR. I just keep quickly just type over here. Uh, NCBI PubMed search. So this is now coming up with differently. Okay, I got into this. Uh, I just go back again. I show you. When I type PubMed, it pop up with the Windows one. This home PubMed NCBI. I'm just going further. In the second page, home page, PMC NCBI. So I went to PMC NCBI. This is the second in the list. I click over here. Now I I went into this window now. Let me just minimize this. Can you see this window? Uh, So here in window, uh, let me expand this. Can you see this PMC bin? There is one box in the left top corner where it's you can see PMC bin. So once you click over here, you can see list of the things like PMC, PubMed, Mesh, and Book. There are different databases as well. Let's put in MESH Mesh instead of PMC. We can put Mesh. Now I'm picking up this again, Garima's topic, comparison of biometry and refractions before and after NDR capsulotomy. So I just type biometry at this point. Okay, so just a minute. So before that, uh, I just remember about anatomy being written over here. Yeah, ocular anatomy. Anand Shah, he has mentioned about ocular anatomy. I would going to type ocular anatomy. Ocular anatomy. Ocular anatomy. Enter. When I used mesh term, it did not give any result. I hope you can see this. It gave me no result. So simply we can type ocular only. Let's type ocular, because now when I type ocular, or you maybe just you type ocular anatomy means you can type eye, just eye. I'm just trying to show what actually happened. So instead of ocular anatomy, I just type eye in mesh term. You can see mesh term, I type I and enter. This is one keyword we used. When we type here, you can see there are list of search being populated. Something, there are a lot of things, but it doesn't matter. The first option, we can straight away we find I been mentioned in the list one, first list I. So normally this is the place where we find definitions and keywords. So I'm clicking on this, when I clicking on this, you can find subheadings. You can use subheadings. Now the important thing which I want to show over here is, can you see this one, the order of the search? When we type I, this I includes so many structures. It starts from anterior capsule of the lens to so many things. So when you do the search, if you are interested in, like suppose you are interested in uvea, you can straight away select this word. Instead of I, you can straight away select uvea. So from here you can also, the idea is you can select the keywords from this point also. I is very general. So if you want I as overall, you can select this I. This is okay. And then, okay, let's now, this is the thing which I wanted to show. So here when you type I, it represents so many search. So in the search, it includes all of these terms. All of these terms it shows in eyes. So that you can see that how many articles you will find with this each of these terms. So you need to specify this. Now I'm just prevalence of microtropia and amblyopia. I'm going into the search. Okay. So prevalence of microtropia and amblyopia in search. I will just straight away I type again, going up, mesh, prevalence of microtropia in amblyopia suspected patients. So microtropia. I search this. There is no source as such. You can find there is no source in microtopia. So that's what we said. Some of the source might have limitations. So in that case, you can simply use PMC search, but not the mesh search. And for this is a very rare entity being. For the search, it won't be a problem. I just take a little bit um, elaborative comparison biometry diffractions. Um, Okay, again, I'm coming back to Anand Shah. Retinal vascular and anatomical features in the spontaneous hypertensive patients. Each of the terms are very elaborative. So I'm going back into Anand Shah topic. Uh, Again, I went to mesh. Then straight away I will type retinal uh, retinal vascular and vas, retinal vessels. We need to type vessels. Okay, I just type vascular, whatever is there. Vascular. Click. So when I type retinal vascular, actually this is vasculopathy retinal with cerebral lico, something like that, which is the relevant. So I will straight away type Anand sir, are you there? I think it's might work while talking and typing over here. If I did, just unmute yourself and let's have a chat. Can I type retinal vein? Okay, I just typed retinal vein at this moment. So when I type retinal vein as a keyword, this gave me two sorts. So retinal vein, and always the first is the definitions, and this is the where we need to click. So I just click this first, retinal vein. When I click retinal vein, now it gave me the list of the stuff, subheading. So if you want anatomy, you can now click on anatomy over here. So subheading, you can see subheading. What you want, abnormality, anatomy, chemistry. So there are some of the headings. You can just check whichever applies to you. You can check. Okay, I will say abnormality at this point. Abnormality. Then I do not go in detail about these two. Uh, Now I'm just trying to show the hierarchical order of your search. So retinal vein is the bottom of this source criteria. And if Anand, if you are there, if you are searching retinal vein as well as artery, because that represents both, in that case, you might select retinal vessels. You got my point? You can select. Yeah. So I select retinal vessels instead of retinal vein. I select here retinal vessels. Okay. So I select retinal vessels. Yeah. So I put abnormality in retinal vessels. And again, I go back. Now retinal vessel includes both artery and vein. I think it is clear now. So if you want both retinal vessels, now it is okay. I'm selecting retinal vessel and abnormality. Now let's go to the top right corner. Top right corner. This is technically it is taking a bit time because demonstrating things. Normally in search, it won't take about just about a couple of minutes stuff. So if in the right top corner, go to the right top corner in the same window, you guys can find this kind of icons. Wait, PubMed Source Builder. So this is the place where we build our keywords. So what I do is add to search builder. I put add to source builder. Now in this window, you can see retinal vessels being added, and in retinal vessels, abnormalities are added. If you can specify what sort of abnormalities are also there, so you can specify later on search. But at this point, I just skip this. And then anatomical features. It's I said anatomical feature is very vague. If Anand is talking about all the structure of the eye, I just put eye at this point. Again, I type, going back in mesh, I type I think I enter. Again, in this window, I click straight away first, the the first, this is the normally we pick up. So we do not have to go to all the way down. You just click on I. Then in I, uh, uh, I'm just showing the subheadings. If anything applies to this, you might be interested to selecting any of these, checking these things. So I'm not doing anything at this moment. I'm just going down to show that when you select I, it gives all the articles containing all of these terms. So Anand, are you online? You may be able to type which segment of the I you are interested in. Because his source is quite vague, so I'm focusing on this. Okay, I just put in this case, I just select retina, not all of the segment. Retina, I just select retina. So retinal anatomy, I'm interested in retinal anatomy. So retina, and in subheading, I select um, just a minute. Can you see the third in a column, anatomy and histology? I check this. I'm going down, further down. So when I put this again, it gives the source with all these terms. I hope it is clear with you. So you just need to understand if these are the things you are interested to look at is all right. Otherwise, if you can still refine. So now I'm just using this term again, right top corner. Uh, okay, add to source builder. Now I put, and here you can see, just a minute again, I will show you. I use and I use this. I use and you can use or if you are as I said about you want to and or not. So in this case, and means I want both of the term to be in the search. Now third is spontaneous hypertensive retinopathy. So I just put hypertensive retinopathy. I just put hypertensive retinopathy. Hypertensive retinopathy. Now hypertensive retinopathy, as I put this, it directly pop up into what I want. So hypertensive retinopathy, and you just check the subheadings, what things you are looking for. I do not check at this moment because I'm just trying to show here. So in going down, straight down, hypertensive retinopathy. So that is okay. Is the second last in the bottom. So I think this okay. It will give article with few more options with retinal artery aneurysms. That's all right for me. So again, let's go to top right corner, PubMed source builder. Then you do add to the source build. Okay, I think I'm done with this search because I put all of them criteria and I put and I want all of them in the search. So now you can click, you can see at the bottom search PubMed next to the add to source builder. So you just click this. Now I put source PubMed. Now when I put this, can you see anything? No article found. So no article found. That means we need to refine our search. That suggests that we need to refine our search because we are bound by very strict criteria. So again, I just redefine and I will do search again. So again, I go back. Now again, I will type retinal vessels. Uh, Now this time I do not do anything with the subheading. Straight away down. Okay, that's right. Right, top right corner, add to source builder. I click over here. So retinal vessels is found. And then again, I type second keyword, anatomical features. So here we put retina. Let's again, I will type eye and I click eye. Subheading, I just leave this at this point. I didn't use the earlier as well. So I just want to see eye because I use retina, it did not give me any result. So I just put posterior eye segment. That means posterior part, all of that also includes vitreous. Posterior eye segment. When can you see the posterior eye segment? Posterior eye segment. Straight, let's go down. Posterior eye segment means it shows the vitreous body also. So let's stick to this. Add to source builder. And the one more thing is hypertensive retinopathy. Straight away again I type hypertensive retinopathy. So hypertensive retinopathy, this is all right because we know that from the previous one. So now I just add to the builder again, right top corner. Retinal vessels, posterior eye segment, hypertensive retinopathy. If it is all right, I will do again search. You can see still it didn't give me any result. So that means still we need to refine this. There is something I think limitation with maybe the criteria we use. Instead of and, now I use or between retinal vessels and posterior eye segment. So I straight away type over here. This is the search which gave me no result. So instead of and, I just type or over here. Now again I will do search. Now this time when I use retinal vessels or posterior eye segment, but and hypertensive retinopathy. So I want retinal vessels or posterior segment, but that should include hypertensive retinopathy because it is and. Now this gave me 37 result. 37 results. Now Anand, you might be interested to screen through these keywords using keywords. You might be interested to look at these articles. Now, this is achievable for you. Otherwise, your top search is very much vague. So this is achievable for you. Now, I'm going back to Gauri Chaudhary, prevalence of, because we did not find microtropia. So I'm going back to Gauri Chaudhary, prevalence of microtropia in amblyopia suspect patients. Now, again, I'm going back to the mesh. Uh, if you are online, the Gauri Chaudhary, you can unmute yourself and we can have chat while we do the search. Okay, I'm going to mesh. I still using mesh. So when I put microtropia, actually it did not give me any result. Microtropia. As you can see, did not give me anything. So you gave me one alternative term for the microtropia. Monofixation syndrome. Okay, I just select this term and straight away I put in the mesh search monofixation syndrome. Now I put search. But the search is not irrelevant because it just gave me the syndrome, not the monofixation syndrome. So this is means I just click on syndrome. Let me see if anything is in this criteria. Let's go straight away down. No, it is in the bottom. So this is not relevant to you. So instead I use esotropia then. I think the esotropia is quite common with the microtropia. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Are you online, Gauri Chaudhary?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can I type esotropia instead of microtropia?
Um,
Is
so
it common?
type uh can we type IXT, sir?
Intermittent exotropia?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will type then. M-I-T-T-E-N-N, exotropia. You can see no result being populated. So I just put exotropia because if there is exotropia, it gives the classification itself. So it is there now. When I put exotropia, it is there. You can see. Now I just go to the bottom. So exotropia is the bottom of the search. So these are how we set subject headings. So you do not need to type intermittent exotropia. You just need to type exotropia because this is the bottom of the search. These are the keywords used in PubMed to search. So this is exotropia is just fine. So in this case, I just select this, add to search builder, again, top right corner, exotropia, then amblyopia. Next term is amblyopia. I forgot the term amblyopia while I speaking. So when I type amblyopia, it gives me a list of alternatives. Amblyopia, amblyopia, and isometropia. Anything if applies, you can directly select. But I just put amblyopia at this point. You can see there are two options coming up. I click option 1, which is normally the first case in all of the search. And I am going to bottom. So in bottom, amblyopia is the list point of search. So you do not need to refine this. This is the key, how the keywords, the subject headings taken by search engine. Now I just add to the search builder. So you want exotropia and amblyopia. Just a minute. Prevalence of microtropia in amblyopia suspected patients. So let me do sort this first. If it did not work, I will put prevalence because this is a quite, I guess we do not get many articles. I put search engine, PubMed. This gave me 77 results. 77 results. So I will define this with prevalence. Prevalence. So what I do is I straight away I'm typing over here. I'm not going back. If you can see, you can go from somewhere from here also because I'm not able to show you. Uh, just a minute. Okay, I'm straight away I'm typing this here. Prevalence also I'm going to type. I'm enclosing all of them in bracket and prevalence search. Now it gave me 13 results. Gave me 13 results, but the first is not relevant to you because it's about surgical risk factors. So I think you might be able to search if they are relevant. And once you find, suppose you have in 13, you found 13 articles, we found 13 articles. Here, when you screen through the article, when you find any of the one article is relevant to you, you can see the related articles from going to the reference of that article also. So you can just check the reference in that article. You can find few more articles which is relevant to you. So you do not need to go into all of them. We are actually running out of time. I will take any questions if you have. But there are so many techniques I would not be able to explain over here. This is very, this is very, I mean, very short term we are doing this. So it would be out of scope to talk about all of the things. Uh, let's take one more topic and then I will wrap up. Okay, Asta Subedi, are you there online?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So I'm going to search your research topic, comparison of high order aberrations in pediatric population with different refractive errors. So at the time this, I will search this straight away. If it give me a lot of source, then I will use the refined, like we had talked about the alternative terms, then we will use alternative terms. If we do not find or we find a lot of articles, we use this. So straight away I type high order aberrations and we will see how we can find articles. So first of all, if as you know, when you type Google, this article in Google, how many papers you will find, I will just show you. Straight away I'm typing your topic in Google. This gave me something like 332,000 articles, so around 300,000 articles. So you may not know which one is relevant to you. Now I'm going to mesh search again, back to mesh search. Going to mesh search again. Just a minute. Mesh. So I'm picking off high order aberration. High order aberration. Copy, paste, and enter. Can you see no source been found? Yeah, you did not see anything. No item found. So I just put aberrations. Uh, Now this is also giving something very much unrelevant. So we put optical aberrations. Optical aberrations. This is also not giving us high order aberration. So we need to find out the mesh term for this. Okay, I'm just going back. I don't know what is the mesh term for this. I'm going back to the search again, Google search. Comparison high order aberration in patients with. Right? This is the first article. I'm just clicking over here. No, this gave me full article. I'm not interested in full article. I'm interested in abstract only. This is PMC. I'm not interested in PMC. Just a minute. Or I'm just going back to Mate here. PubMed. Can you see PubMed? Just instead of mesh, I just put PubMed and I'm putting back the same topic. This whole topic just to pick up the keyword. Gave me no result. That means I have to select PMC in this case as well. PMC. Paste, search. Okay, when I do PMC, I found a lot of articles over here. For Astha cases also, there is not so much issue. That means there are very limited articles being found. So your topic is on high demand. That means your research is in high demand. So your research has a very good scope. That shows that because I typed straight away, even in that case, it gave me just 95 search. Maybe in 95 search, maybe 10 maximum it would be relevant. So your topic is in high demand. Abstract. So here in the left corner, there's few more options which limit the search when you find a lot of articles. Not for this case. Not for this case. Certainly not for this case. Just a minute. I'm just searching. I'm putting back in Google Scholar whole of the topic, not using keywords. This gave me a lot of article again. So I'm just taking this out. I just use keywords in Google Scholar. Question. And children. I do not use pediatric population. And refractive error. And refractive error. Asta, you are looking at myopia, any particular refractive error or any of the refractive error?
So I'm looking for myopia, hyperopia, and if possible, astigmatism as well.
All of them. Then I just put refractive
Yes,
error.
sir.
So I'm searching in
Yes.
Google Scholar, high order aberrations and the children and refractive error.
Okay, sir.
So this gave me 659 shots. I'm not sure what is the term used for higher aberrations. I could not, because I could not find the term in the PubMed, in the MES term either. Okay, I just type children. So children, which age group you are interested in? Adult children, toddlers, preschoolers?
From 7 to 18 years, sir.
Okay, so 7 to 18 years means it's very difficult to keep in the children groups. So when if you can find child means it defined by 6 by 12 years. In this case,
So in
adult children.
recent studies, they have included up to 18 years as pediatric, and also I have
Yeah.
to go through the aberrometry, so I chose group greater than 7 years.
So here, if you see, you can find 1 and 2, children and adult children. So you have to include both of them. Children, I'm just clicking on child, straight going down, children. So I'm going to age group back. Can you see the age group? I'm going back to age group. Age group, young adult. So child is okay. Child is okay. Child is okay. And right top corner, I put in the mesh. Then refractive error. Aberration I am putting at the last. Refractive errors. You can see straight away it gave me refractive error, not the least. I'm going at the bottom. So refractive error here includes anisoconia, anisometropia, astigmatism. So it's called corneal wavefront aberrations. You need to type wavefront aberrations. I found keywords. Hypermetropia, myopia. So if in your search, when I put refractive errors, Asta, are you there?
Sir.
Yeah. So if you refractive error, I think you are not interested in anisoconia, anisometropia in this case.
No, sir, just
Right?
refractive error. Yes.
Okay. So now what you have to do is you might be interested to put hypermetropia, myopia, astigmatism as a term, refractive error not as a whole term. So I just put refractive error at the moment as a whole term. If you use myopia, hypermetropia, and astigmatism, then instead of and, you need to use or. So I will show you using individual. Then I'm clicking astigmatism first. Astigmatism is the bottom in the refractive error. So I put, let me just child. Okay, I put astigmatism. Then again I put myopia. Okay, myopia. If you go to right top corner, instead of and, I use or. Okay, one thing we can do is we can use not to restrict that also. So I'm just going back. Let me do this. I'm taking this out, deleting this, and I put refractive error. Again down. We want to take out anisoconia and anisometropia and presbyopia. There are 3 terms. Okay, then add to source builder. I put refractive error at the moment. We will put not as a not the other presbyopia, anisometropia, and anisoconia. Anisoconia, right? Anisoconia, anisometropia, and presbyopia. Then I take this word wavefront aberrations itself. I click over here, corneal wavefront aberrations. So can you, Asta, can you see here? This is applicable to all of you.
Yes, sir.
So entry terms, here I found the keywords for them. Aberration, corneal wavefront aberrations, I just forgot that. So this term. Normally when we search in PubMed, when you retry, when you find abstract alone, at the bottom you can find mesh term, mention mesh term. When you click on mesh term in that abstract, when you do search in PubMed, it gives the list of the articles, which is I mean list of the keywords used in mesh term. So here they use wavefront, whatever word you use from this group, it gave you the same result. So it's okay what we use. Corneal wavefront aberration we used. It also include corneal topography, means this is okay. So I select this keyword. Now I put in add source builder. Okay, so at this time I'm doing just search, including anisoconia, anisometropia, and presbyopia, which is the term for the refractive error. Search PubMed. So this already gave me just only 8 articles. Can you see?
Yes, sir.
Then you can look at this if it is relevant to you, and you can look at that also. Now let me just remove the mesh term, which is anisoconia, anisometropia, and all. So at the last in this directly, instead of I'm putting this here in PubMed, if you can see, I use not not anisoconia, not presbyopia, and it's not anisoconia, anisometropia. I will just type anisometropia. Then one more thing is that we need to define this term as mesh, mesh, mesh. I just put this over here. Okay, sorry, I need to take this out. I put in the middle of this, got back bracket, because if we do manually, we just need to be a little bit careful. Not presbyopia, not anisometropia. Presbyopia also it should be a mesh term. So I put mesh in bracket. So I will do search now. It still gave me 8 results. So I think it's okay. That means in this result does not include anisometropia and presbyopia, because it gave me the same result. So that means it's already excluded. This article do not contain anisometropia and presbyopia. So this is the objective of today's search, what we are looking for. Now, if you have any questions, I'm ready to take. If anybody has any questions.
Sir, we have one question from Hira sir.
Okay.
And the question is, what is the difference between search in PMC and PubMed?
The difference between?
Search in PMC and PubMed.
Okay, I'm going back to the presentation then. Uh, so we normally do not talk as a difference, but you can see PubMed. It is a free to use website to source the academic literature and provide free access to Medline. And Medline, and over 22 million articles you can find in PubMed, plus non-medical life science journals. Then it is somewhere. Uh, So it is a Medline, also is a bibliography database, US National Library of Medicine, which also contains 20 million records. So what is PMC means? PMC, I just type over here PMC. This is, I'm sure, this is a database to do the search. So PMC is one of the database which is collaborated with NCBI, we can say that, which is a free full text archives. So PMC is a full text archive. So it's a kind of database in the biomedical and life science journals. So normally we do not talk as a difference, but these are the different databases we use. But PMC is integrated to NCBI. That means it is integrated in PubMed as well, which is we found in this. So PubMed, yeah. So this you can find, it's integrated. That's why you can, if you go to the PubMed straight away, there is an option called PMC. So they are integrated to give the free access. I will just type one article of which thing I'm trying to show is not being able to show you. And let me type any, okay. Uh, Vision related quality of life in keratoconus. Select on paste. Normally what we do. Okay, this is because of this format, I did not notice that the format, that this source format has been changed. So when I typed this article, this gave me a article, vision related quality of life in keratoconus, safe site keratoconus registry study. And just going down, it gave the relevant article as well, which is quite convincing. Now, can you see the mesh term used over here? Mesh term.
Yes,
So
sir.
these term, yeah, these term actually, when you type these terms, when you do the search, it includes all of these terms. You can see so many, these are called subject headings. Now, one more thing you check, you can see star. Can you see star?
Yes, sir. I'm seeing it.
Okay, when you do the PubMed search, when you just get abstract, you just go down and look at the mesh term, you check the star. So that means this is a major component of the article. This article contains all these terms, search terms. This include all these search terms, not this article. I mean, this search includes all these search terms. But major term used in this article is quality of life, which is your search, and the keratoconus. Star, you can see star over keratoconus and star over quality of life. So this article is quite close to your search. That means this way also you can find out one thing, the relevance of your search, even if you just find abstract. Even if you do search, you can read through the abstract also, and you can use mesh term to find out if this is relevant to your search. And so that means this is relevant to your search. So one advantage is you can see what is the relevance. The advantage, other advantage is what are the mesh term used to build the source. So this how we normally judge if the article is okay. If this the keywords, like I saw the keratoconus and the quality of life as a major key term used in this search, so this article is relevant to you. It's worthwhile to read through the articles, which of the components you are interested in. So if you are interested in methods, you might be interested to look at the method, or if you are interested in result, you can see the result. But I'm not going in detail about, there are refinement of the search criteria. If you want to do the method search alone, there are also the criteria to do that. If you want methods only, if you want result only, there are different method criteria for that as well. I'm not going to cover this in today's session. So I think this is the end of this today's sessions. I hope this session is useful to you. to do literature search. And if you have any further questions, I'm happy to take them.
If anybody has any question, then you can just unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah. So I guess nobody has got any questions.
Thank you so much, sir. I hope the session went informative for every one of us. We have our
Yeah,
faculties with us throughout our session. I would
yeah.
like to request them to add up something for today's session.
I could say Hira, Neeraj, and Sanjeev.
Hello.
Hello, yes.
Hello. Gauri sir, thank you for the session.
Hello, yes, we are listening. Yeah.
Yeah. It was quite engaging session and searching literature. I would like to ask a question. We often have a password and username. Does it make us more accessible to the PubMed, or it is we don't require password and username?
No, the PubMed is a free tool, and in the PubMed, it's a free actually. And now PubMed, if you do PMC PubMed search, and when you find article is relevant, you can just put that to the PMC, and once you find the article which is relevant to you, you just copy that title, and instead of mesh term, you can use PMC and put that whole title, and you can copy, you can download that article. So PMC gives free of that. Normally, like I would just like to show this here, like in this article, as I showed the mesh term, if you go to the right corner of this article, normally it gives the link to free access, but I'm not sure this is freely available or not. So in this case, I could not see. Normally in the right corner, if it is freely available, it gives the link to that articles. So you can click that way also. Otherwise, PMC usually give free articles. So PMC, in terms of instead of mesh, we use PMC and straight away that article to download.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Thank you, Gauri sir, for wonderful
Welcome.
classes.
Yeah.
And I think the third year will have to search the articles by this way. And for the final year, I think, Gauri sir, I request you
Yeah.
for the next classes because there is a COVID-19. So there are not enough samples to collect. So how will we proceed the this project work for the final year? Can you give me the idea, because now there is a COVID-19, so few of the students have not collected.
I think, yeah, Sandeep, I think it's might have a contact with this all of the students, and we had a session together with the final year students.
Mhm,
There are other ways how we can do the research. Not the data collection is just a very small component of the research,
mhm.
but there are different ways how we can do this. So if the all final years are there present and they come up with their research topic, maybe a small, maybe less than 50 words, the background information about their research, so that I can get the overview. then we can discuss how they can finish their project at given at whatever they are in that their stage of the research. I think I will be able to help them how to finish and wrap up their research.
Thank you, Gauri sir. Bipin, I think you have to arrange one class for this
Not the class, it's the discussions
discussion.
among final years
Discuss.
and faculties.
Yes, final year and faculties, because Gauri sir will give you the idea how to means because I think for the COVID-19 will not. I think this will happen for more for 5 months. I don't know. So for the data collection, it will be very difficult because nowadays only 10 to 12 patients are coming in the OPD. So we are not doing the refractions. Even they are taking only the vision, and it's a difficult time. So 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 we have to arrange for the discussion class. So we'll arrange, Guru sir, and we'll inform you.
Yeah, okay. So
Thank you,
students,
Guru sir.
all of if all of
Yes.
them are in contact, then it would be worthwhile to have the discussions. Otherwise, if having a couple of students at the time, other student missed, and that won't be effective.
Okay, sir. I will
Yeah.
try for that to reach maximum number of students
Yeah.
from our.
So we will discuss with we will discuss with individual student, and we will talk how we can wrap up the research from the present context to the final stage.
Okay, sir.
Whatever in the stage of your research, it doesn't matter. So we can do this and giving a positive output as well.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Yeah. And if
Thank you so much.
if anybody has any in mind about any of the topic, research related topic to be covered, it's if you feel that that topic should have been taught or been discussed, you can share with me so that I can plan and prepare for that sessions. Any of the topic, if you come up with you had a discussion among your colleagues and then you decide.
Okay, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. I think this would be very helpful for the beginners.
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much for your patience and giving me this time. I'm really happy to share what I have learned. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, with this last note, we would like to end the session. Thank you.